Marvel Midnight Suns was released on December 2nd, 2022, the new turn-based tactical role-playing game from Firaxis Games, the makers of XCOM, and this time, for the first time, a game from them with a superhero license. All the Marvel characters you know are there, the Marvel heroes, namely Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Spider-Man and Venom. And all the others, some of them on the side of our enemies, but some also as best buddies. We'll be training with them, hanging out, spending time together, chatting, putting up with their jokes, and making some jokes about them ourselves. And hope they won't hold it against us, and we'll fight alongside them. In turn-based tactical battles, if you love XCOM, this series, this reference for turn-based tactical games par excellence, set out with a small squad of groups onto turn-based battle maps, facing seemingly overwhelming opponents, and managed to succeed with a lot of skill and clever ideas, so that in the end you can still save your own skin and bring home the victory. If you play games like this, there's a damn good chance you'll like this one too. Because the Marvel license brings a powerful presentation and includes a lot of really cool skills for our heroes. So now a lot of really crazy things are suddenly included, which you can link and combine with each other, and it delivers. I was very skeptical at first. A card deck system, which sounds terrible, but it really isn't, quite the opposite. Before, in XCOM, it was often like this during battles. There was a certain hit probability, and sometimes you would miss even from a short distance. That's not the case anymore. You always hit, but the cards you have in your hand are a bit random. And because of that, there's always a bit of excitement, always new challenges in how you combine things together. During the day, we'll be hanging out at the Abbey with our best people, with our best friends. Our relationships with each other will also improve, we'll fight better, craft items, upgrade maps, and who knows what else. And we are hunters. Who is a hunter? Who we fight against? I'll be happy to tell you all about that. Here we are in the Abbey, the heart of the strategy mode in Marvel's Midnight Suns, so basically our headquarters. Our enemies can't get to us here, and from here we can set out on our missions. In between, it's a role-playing game with turn-based tactical battles and plenty of opportunities to look around and walk around in third-person perspective. This is what my hunter looks like. Yours might look completely different. It's fully customizable, male or female, a woman with a beard, a man with, I don't know, whatever, with huge bells. It's all up to you. You can do it however you want. And here we meet some of our superhero friends, especially Captain Marvel, for example.
Lucky that Tony knows how to reach me. In terms of this space-time, it's hard to explain how far away I was.
We can't stop it and keep getting talked to, but we can also talk to others, which may help or hurt our relationships.
Doesn't take the lead again. I was hoping for a battle of the doctors without a license. Strange versus Faustus for all the marbles.
Please don't be surprised. Of course, they look a bit different than in the Marvel movies, because the license being used here is the comic license, and not every single Hollywood star has had their face or voice licensed for this. This is the Abbey. You can walk around freely everywhere. Over there, that seems to be Blade, half human, half vampire, and a fanatical vampire hunter. Here we can improve our abilities in between, in the room. Back here in the outdoor area, we can train there. Those are two more heroes. The Marvel Midnight Suns, the namesake Midnight Suns, is a small, very young team of heroes led and commanded by the old-timer Blade here. And then, depending on the situation, the other heroes join in, some of whom you've already met. The whole thing is a very dark and magic-charged branch of the Marvel Universe, so many of the abilities are less technical and more of other different types of powers. And when talking to our heroes, you of course have to make sure we strike the right tone. Some like to joke around with us, while others, some even hate irony. By building a good relationship, we can get to know each other better on the battlefield.
A river is being crossed. They've probably been planning the whole thing for years.
And the centerpiece is, of course, the room where we'll soon begin our battles. That means we have a mission room, and up here in front is a map table.
It's been a long time since I was involved in such a big undertaking. Maybe too long. It's nice to have a full house again.
Here we can now start our first mission, an example mission. I'll show you. There's one thing I know for sure.
That.
What interests you the most are, of course, the turn-based tactical battles. Have fun. Of course, a good fight requires exquisite preparation. Let's see what we take with us, cards and equipment, into our battle. Let's see what Hunter has with him. Up there on the left you can see the other people who are already by his side. We can unlock up to 14 superheroes as playable characters that we can take with us in our team. We always send 3 into each tactical battle. Sometimes a story mission requires us to bring certain characters, otherwise we can choose them freely. It's definitely recommended to have Hunter with you, because Hunter is very versatile and we can customize him in many different ways. You collect experience points when you fight, and the people who join you in both tactics and battle also gain experience points if they are those kinds of people. If heroes are at a lower level than Hunter, then he brings them up to his level. There is no permanent death here, unlike in the other XCOM games. It just doesn't fit the story for him to suddenly die in Doctor Strange somehow. Marvel fans worldwide are upset. That's why this can't happen here. That doesn't mean it gets boring, you just get knocked out on the battlefield, and then you can too. A smaller deck of cards that you can play, because the cards are tied to the respective heroes. That's one of these starter decks. You can bring 8 cards into battle, and there are 3 card types. There are the regular attack cards, like Quick Slash, which she has with her. There are support cards, those are the white ones, and then there are special hero cards that use hero ability points or hero points. These are the regular attack cards that you use later in battle. You can see that in the corner at the bottom, +1, do you see it? I'll make it a bit bigger for you in the bottom left. Those are the hero points that are generated when you use this card in battle. On the other hand, the very strong, very powerful, but also very expensive hero cards like the Shadow Whip consume these hero points. You can see it in the top left. That means you first have to generate these hero points during the course of a battle in order to even be able to play such a card. There are also support cards, like this one for example. Healing is self-explanatory. You heal yourself, you heal others, you can weaken enemies or make your own people stronger. You can discard cards, deck cards, and get several new cards. There are different types of cards you can get, and many of them generate effects. A lot of these hero points, like healing for example, +2, which means you can build up hero points and then use them later in battle for the powerful hero cards. Over time we sometimes get double, triple, or even quadruple cards, but we can still only take 8 with us. The more you have of the same type, the more likely it is that when you start a battle with 3 cards, you usually start with one of these cards included among your 3 starting cards. If you have 2, 3, or 4 of the same type, you can later merge 2 of the same type together, give one up, and in doing so, upgrade and improve the base card. You can see that quite well here. It says show upgrade, which means there are stronger stats, or they have extra abilities and much more. Yes, and that's how it looks for all the other heroes as well. They have their own card sets, and they also have different profiles. For example, one of them has super strong hero abilities, meaning the priciest cards. You have to build that up with him first. Well, Captain Marvel, it's even much more intense there. She can switch to the so-called binary mode, which is a mode where she has a kind of shield, like an armor ability around her, and then all the damage she deals gets doubled. But if the shield drops to 0 in the meantime, then all these additional abilities also disappear. That means you need other people to basically build up her hero points and slowly get her into this state, preparing the battlefield for her. That means it's a good idea to see who you can combine with whom and how well you mix the 3 heroes you have with you. You can also experiment a bit. You can take people with you who, at the beginning, kill lots of small weak minions and generate a lot of hero ability points that way, and others in turn can finish things off. There are people, heroes, who are good for area damage, who can wipe out lots of small weak enemies, while others are absolutely needed for the boss fights. You can really experiment a lot in this game. A story mission early in the game takes place on a rooftop on top of a big city building. The 3 we have with us are Blade, our own Hunter, and Captain Marvel. You can see the enemies over there. There are 3 types of enemies. The first kind doesn't even have hit points. These are the simple minions like this Hydra commando here. In this case, Hydra is the secret organization that's fighting against us. We, however, might have shields on our side. These are the two eternal adversaries here, and Lilith, the mother of all demons, and also Hunter's mommy, have joined forces with Hydra. Magic and science, with a bit of Nazi flair, all come together here. These simple these simple enemies, they don't even have a health bar. The rule is, we just have to hit them once, deal any minimal damage. It's even enough to just give them a little push and they fall over, and they're already dead. But they still use up one of our attacks. There are those with a health bar above them, and they also have a bit more health. They have more than just the one, basically. Sometimes we have to attack them multiple times. Those are the elite troops, and later on there are real boss enemies, and they're really nasty. Sometimes even with the regular enemies, like the two types we have here. Look, they have a symbol stuck above their heads, showing who they're going to attack if we let them attack. Here, for example, we know Captain Marvel is going to be attacked, or here, for example, we know someone is going to go after Blade. And first we carry out our actions. You can see on the right how many actions we have. We have 3 actions plus 2 action moves. So we could discard a card and draw a new one for them, a random one from our team's card decks, and we have a maneuver point. That means we can move one of our heroes somewhere else for a cool move, without it being tied to an action right away. On the far right, our hero's courage points are at 0, so we'll need to improve that at the start. Maybe we can increase the number of actions. For example, Blade has the quick attack ability here, so he can get one of our opponents. With complete actions, we even get 1 action refunded, so the action point we spend comes right back. That's what we want to use. Every action you click on once, you can then decide whether you want to use it or not. It doesn't matter where they are standing. You have to think a bit differently than in the usual XCOM games. There's a cover system. You have to move first and check if an enemy is in range. Here you can usually reach everyone. It's also not that incredibly large. The map, so we can immediately see who is where. The complicated features, those are coming. That mainly comes from cleverly combining the number of actions and drawing maneuvers with what you happen to get as a card deck. We have to work with the cards we have, and certain cards are tied to specific heroes, and that's the special thing. That way, you always get to puzzle things out again and again. No 2 battles are ever the same. For example, with him, we can say we're making an attack up here on the Hin. We want to take him out once. Why am I choosing him? Take a look. There are also objects here that you might be able to blow up, like this thing up front, like this one, and you can hit multiple enemies with them. He's off to the side, so that's not really possible. And these objects, I'll explain that to you in a moment. First we'll do an attack, a quick attack up here on the left, an attack on this one, confirm that, and nice switching around, and we return to our action under 1. A hero point here generates a hero courage point through this card, and makes sure that we can use these cards at the right time. They consume 3 hero courage points, which means at the moment they can't be used yet. But we've used 1 point, and we can also spend these hero courage cards in other ways. Let me show you. For example, let's do it with our own hand. We'll do it right here in front. You can also alternatively spend these hero courage points to use the environment. For example, that's something you can do. She can say, here, we'll take this part, we'll blow it up. For that, we spend a hero courage point. That doesn't count towards the action points, only a hero courage point is deducted, so you can also save an action this way. Here. One was taken out completely, he has 0 hit points. The other, this elite one, still has 14 left, actions are still at 3, hero courage is already back down to 0. What we can do is we can attack several at once. This action here is called Blade Katana Heap. And for example, we could take out these 2 here, or we could just take out one of them. We can also do 2 attacks on one, that's possible too. We say 1 attack here, and then the Zen, we combine it with the one in front, or we do 2 attacks on this one. However, only a little bit of it remains and it can survive. That means the amount of damage dealt, you can see by the sword symbol, is 6 damage. If we upgrade the cards, it will be more later. We want to take this one, we can completely take it out. The more powerful an enemy is, the more damage they can do. so just always killing the easy ones might not always be the best option. Come on, let's just do it down here. I'll do it once up front, one attack here and a second one. That's it for today.
See you next time, bye.
Two attacks carried out in a row, and there are still 2 points left down here. We have another point added down here, a hero activity, a hero courage point, which we can use. We could, blow this part up, for example. We're switching back over to Hunter, just because she's the heroine, I think, and we could blow this part up here. Or what we could do instead, which is also very nice. Look, she's standing in a good spot right now. There's another object we can interact with. She can glide over it and use it. And you can see by the green angle where we'll land, and she would land right here in front. That's exactly what you can do, for example. So I'm assuming 1 heroism point. Save, but save an action point. Now she's standing back here. Now we can use heroism. That's healing, but that's not necessary. Our people are fit and in good shape. We can make a slash, move a target in one direction, and deal extra damage if we make one collide with another. Yeah, we could do the following. I'll move her over there, and by doing so, we also generate heroism. We can blow that up later. I'll move with her, I'll try to see if that's possible. So we could attack here, push back, we could do that, but then it would fly in the wrong direction. We won't do that, so we'll move first. We'll use our maneuver point and move her up here to the front.
She repositions herself.
And there she is, and now we can do a slash with her, which means this one up front. He'll die from it too, as I said, 100% hit chance. We can see that as well. He gets knocked over and then flies into his buddy back there and takes damage from that. He takes extra damage because of it, although he only has 2 points left. The enemy too. Well, he didn't actually fly all the way to the back, he just hit the wall here, he crashed into this little wall. We've gained another hero point. We could use it now, for example, to blow up this valley up here in front. You can do that, let him take it once, let him blow it up once, please. Now we've saved another action point, we've used up the heroism points, and we still have 1 action left that we can't use at the moment. Because we can heal, we would gain 2 heroism points from that, which we could then use for something else. But somehow it's also kind of lame. We could also say one of these 2, which we can't really use properly right now anyway. Let's try drawing a card with that, which means we use the card and press here to draw. Fact, the card is gone. Another one comes in, Radiant Fists. Not really helpful, didn't get us any further. Let's just move on to the next round. We'll take 1 action and 1 draw into the next round. Now the enemies are attacking us, and you already know who they're going to attack here, right? And what we're also going to experience, it's coming up. Reinforcements. Had to take quite a beating, reinforcements are coming afterwards. We draw 3 new cards at the beginning of the round. And Monspeller Hulk reports in.
The data I'm seeing here is hard to ignore. There are things between heaven and earth, Horatio.
You know you're talking to a vampire, an alien hybrid, and a resurrected demon hunter, right?
This is the tactical mode. Hold down the left shift key. You can see everywhere how many hit points they have and so on, what status they're in. There are 2 enemies, and if we take out all the enemies within this round, the fight would be over, so, you know, that would be pretty cool. And by finishing fights earlier, you get so-called gloss points. You can use them later to personalize your heroes, buy some cool outfits for them or other things. Of course, there's also a bit of competitive spirit involved in some of the missions, but when you've taken out all of those minions, there's one last round and a boss enemy appears, or you get sent to another room and have to keep fighting. Let's see what we can do here now. The 3, the 4 are there, we've just received Quick Slash. When we take out an enemy, 1 action is refunded. That's really cool, of course. We can just use that to take out one of these two here. Let's run over, use quick slash back here, and also build up some heroism. One action back, we have 3 actions and we have a heroism card. Should we heal someone? For example, we could say Blade only has 36 left. We can use 1 action to select a hero and 1 action to heal, which we use up. We generate 2 heroism points in the process. Once. If you owe something. We have 3 heroism points, and now for the first time we can use one of these cool attacks here with 3. That way, he would restore his own health points, Blade the half vampire, and deal damage himself. Radiant Puncher, we can use that. Let's do it. We're really putting Captain Marvel in the spotlight here for the first time. And use her to attack these 2 one after the other. That means attack here with Radiant Fist. He dies because he only has 14 points. It's a very powerful fight. Attack, 16 damage. That's an expensive hero hat card, and at the same time someone in the back is also being attacked.
Call that.
Well, that hit. 1 point remains and 1 more down here that we still need to take care of around the corner, with quite a few points but also with quite a few actions. We could use that. There would be 1 action left. Can we use Hero's Hat for something else, to grab an item or do something else? I'm afraid not. Let's do a quick attack. Unfortunately, the action won't be refunded. Once on here, let's draw. Let's remove this card here. We'll draw it and see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky, right? We get a quick cut and another quick attack that generated a hero hat, that one too. We have 1 more action here, please. A level up for him. You see, it gives more health points, more offensive power for our blade. Now he could catch up again and move us once, but at the moment I don't see anything here that we could really use. We'll just move on to the next round and take these points with us. Here,
Someone felt a draft.
again, reinforcements on our enemy's side. New cards that we receive.
Have somehow stabilized the decay rate within the particles themselves. How else can he achieve such a high yield?
I'm not sure, Bruce, but I'll ask him after we finish beating the bad guys.
So, now we only have 3 opponents left. We should be able to handle that this round, or with a bit of luck. Especially here, we can do these quick cuts once, then we get an action back. That goes for the guy back there, so we don't have to do that either. That's one of the items. We could throw it, not use up an action, just use up a hero hat. But it's fine like this. We'll do a quick cut here. The advantage is that we get our action back afterwards. As you can see, it's also mentioned in the tooltip when knocked out. And that's basically a hit with attack and retreat. Then we get our action back. And that worked. A level up, 3 actions, 2 that we still have to take out. Captain Marvel, let's deploy, take the knee strike and use knee strikes on the unit up front. That one will be taken out immediately. And generate another hero point on top of it. And that hurt. We generated 5 blocks. That means she now has a virtual shield. That's the blue bar above. That means when she's attacked, she absorbs 5 of the others from the attacks of the others. Wait. But only 1 remains. We have 4 hero hat points. That's a lot. We could use the silver flock, and it's super strong. 32 damage. That's more than enough. Once right here. Please let me. For that, you'd easily end up in jail in New York. For that, you'd be December 2nd. On December 2nd, Marvel's Midnight Suns will first be released for Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S, and for PlayStation 5 later. At a time that publisher 2K has not yet announced, versions for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch will also be released. In the text description. On YouTube, you'll find a link that takes you to Games Planet. There I have a community discount code and its name is also listed there. You can use it to get the game at a lower price. It applies to all 3 versions for sale that are listed there. Among other things, it also applies to the version where you can get a season pass included, which you can also get as part of the package there. If you know the game will definitely be something you like, the season pass is included. It's described there in detail. A whole series of new DLCs over time, 4 new heroes that will be added, and also new story missions, among other things. I'll stream the game non-stop on Twitch, and all recordings will be on YouTube. Wish me lots of fun, and wish you lots of fun too. With Marvel's Midnight Suns, on December 2nd, 2022, Marvel's Midnight Suns will be released, first for Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 later. At a time that publisher 2K has not yet announced, versions for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch will also be released. Below, in the text description on YouTube, you'll find a link that takes you to Games Planet. There, I have a community discount code, the name of it is also listed there, which you can use to get the game at a lower price. It applies to all 3 versions for sale that are listed there. Among other things, it also applies to the version where you can get a season pass included. You can get that as part of the package there as well. If you know the game is definitely something you'll like, the season pass is included. That's described there in detail. A whole series of new DLCs over time, 4 new heroes that will be added, and also new story missions, among other things. I'll stream the game non-stop on Twitch and post recordings on YouTube. Wish me fun, and I wish you fun too. With Marvel's Midnight Suns, on December 2nd, 2022, Marvel's Midnight Suns will be released first for Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S, and later for PlayStation 5. At a time that publisher 2K has not yet announced, versions for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch will also be released. Below, in the text description on YouTube, you'll find a link that takes you to Games Planet. There I have a community discount code, the name of the code is also listed there, which you can use to get the game at a lower price. It applies to all 3 versions for sale listed there, including the version where you can also get a season pass. You can also get it as part of a bundle there. If you know the game is definitely something you'll like, the season pass is included. That's described there in detail. A whole series of new DLCs over time, 4 new heroes that will be added, and also new story missions, among other things. I'll stream the game non-stop on Twitch, with recordings on YouTube. Wish me lots of fun and you too. With Marvel's Midnight Suns. December 2nd, and in 2022 Marvel's Midnight Suns will be released, first for Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S, and later for PlayStation 5. At a time that publisher 2K has not yet announced, versions for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch will also be released. Below, in the text description on YouTube, you'll find a link that takes you to Games Planet. There, I have a community discount code. The name of the code is also listed there and you can redeem it. You can get the game at a lower price and it applies to all 3 versions for sale listed there. Among others, it also applies to the version where you can get a season pass as well. You can also get it as part of a bundle there. If you know that the game is definitely something you'll like, the season pass is included. That's described there in detail. A whole series of new DLCs over time, 4 new heroes that will be added, and also new story missions, among other things. I'll stream the game non-stop on Twitch, with recordings available on YouTube. Wish me lots of fun, and I wish you lots of fun with Marvel's Midnight Suns.